Little cat, little cat, little cat. Lami. What are you doing, little kitty?
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. I garbled that one a little bit, but we're watching Hot D, fuck the books. As always, I'm your host, Zach, sitting here, listening to my stomach gurgle on the mic. My brother, Nate.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get those loud enough to actually use them as like
hungry.
A cold open or something.
And
but
so, yeah, if you hear some gurgles, apparently the mic will pick it up. That's your boy. Hey, listeners. Good to see you.
Yeah, we're watching Hot D Season 2.
Yeah, I think we've been forgetting to say, but at the top here, we are full spoiler, so we do discuss things completely openly with knowledge of Fire and Blood and A Song of Ice and Fire as a whole. So if that's not your shtick, then
you should leave now, because it's going to be just coming your way, all this information that you don't want yet.
And we're here in Season 2, yay!
No, but yay. But no.
We are back, bitch. Thrones is back, if you didn't know. Hot D's killing it.
Yeah, we're having a great time watching it. We hope you are too.
Sort of, because we open Season 2, Episode 1, A Son for a Son. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we know, we got to see all of Season 1. We saw Prince Viserys and Rhaenys, being named king and forever princess. We saw the rise of Alicent in the ranks as Viserys' wife passed, Rhaenyra's mother, the befriending of those two girls, their aging into the
women that they became.
Yeah, and then going into the whole, both of them having different kids, and the splits, and the tension that builds, yep. Ugh. Finally culminating in Viserys naming Aegon as his heir, but not, and we all know the truth of that, but then the death of Viserys, the Greens taking the throne, and Rhaenyra not being happy about it. So the season finale was ending with little Prince Lucerys getting chomped up in half. You got eaten up whole.
Nom. Big Girl was just hungry. Yeah, well, as we discussed in our last episode, it's what happens when you give prepubescent teenage boys who are just, heightened up on fucking everything, nuclear weapons. So,
exactly.
Fallout time. We open Season 2, and we are back, bitch, because the first thing we fucking hear is Goodbye Brother, the goddamn Stark theme song. And if it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I don't know why you're watching the show in the first place. We get to see this beautiful transition of the Raven flying across the realm from Dragonstone to Winterfell, and the reveal that it is Winterfell is just such a stellar, spectacular shot. And then we get the wonderful voiceover of Cregan Stark.
Yeah, we get the explanation of, by the way, it didn't bring a tear to my eye either. You're okay to watch the show if the song didn't bring a tear to your eye.
What a fucking putz.
Just
fake
so
fan,
we can say.
Fake fan.
And they discuss how there's a drawing, a lottery for the men of House Stark, and 1 in every 10 men get chosen to honorably serve the Night's Watch. Yeah. And so we get to see that this is just before the final collapse of the Order as we know it in Game of Thrones, where it's just a shadow of its former self.
Right, it's not criminals being sent to the wall, it's an honorable
They're not just
thing.
Clearing out all the jails throughout the realm and sending them up there. It's these men of honor, men of names, that are High Lords that are being sent up there to serve.
And so this is our second watch through. We did, of course, watch it live when it first aired, and in this watch through I was able to notice a few more things, like Jace being present for this drawing ceremony, and then kind of piecing it together, because then we go to the beautiful shot of them on the King's Road walking up to the wall, and Cregan's voiceover is still going here, but it's essentially the discussion Cregan is having with Jace on the way to the wall,
right.
Of like, this is what we're doing, and this is why I myself am leading these men to the wall with you. Not only is it serving the purpose of showing you the wall and what the North defends, it's explaining the Night's Watch heritage, and it's also, this is how
it's showing
Jake and
also
Cregan get to the wall.
It's showing to the men that were just chosen that they're being led by essentially the king in the north.
You're right, the Lord of the North.
And that it is a high honor. And yeah, we get this cool ride up the elevator at the wall when we finally do see the wall.
Let's be time appropriate.
That's what a fucking
fake
elevator is.
fan.
Oh,
Continue.
my word. And I really liked, because Jace says it brings him great pleasure knowing that their ancestors, Aegon and Torrhen Stark, having treated in the same place they are. And Cregan looks at him and he's like, yeah, at least you had the honor not to threaten me with your dragon.
They're bros, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I ship these two. Big ol' ice poking over the shoulder. It's wonderful. And yeah, Jacaerys and Cregan are discussing the whole winter is coming thing, and Jace is like, ha 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 ha, Jake. He's like, ha ha ha, you know, so what is this stuff that's landing in my beautiful black hair right now with these snowflakes? And Cregan's like, bitch, that's nothing compared to true winter when you will forget what warmth was. So, haha. And then this whole time he's been leading him to a lookout over the wall.
The actor who portrays Jace because he's talking as he's approaching, and then you can just see the look of wonder,
he
he trails
that train
off.
of thought is just
so
gone.
good.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of Tyrion when he's up there pissing off the edge of the world and seeing it for the first time, and really good.
And so Cregan lays it out of like, this is what we're defending against, the whole of the North. And so I've got a bunch of graybeards. Old men, yes, but still Northerners, and they'll fight like Northerners that can accompany you, but I need my men here. And Jace says, we'll gladly take any fighting men you have. And I love it here because, well, I don't love it, actually. This is one of my few qualms, because they added Jacaerys into the tale of Alicent coming to the wall. Jacaerys wasn't here when Alicent's dragon refused to fly over the wall, according to the history of the book that we know. It was just Alicent up at the wall, and it was just her dragon that refused to fly over the wall. But
I'll counter that with
here,
they didn't add it. Maybe the Maesters forgot to add that detail.
Nate and I have been adamantly discussing the reaction of the fandom to Season 2, and like, the complaints about it not being the book is fucking stupid. So if you ever plan on emailing us and like that line is in your email at all, just fuck right off. I don't even care. I'll say it.
This book is written from the point of view of an in-world character.
It's an unreliable narrator.
And so
as we discussed, this could be fan fiction. So right, I don't have a qualm with it. They changed that, and I like it better as just Alicent.
Sure.
But
so they get interrupted by a raven from Dragonstone, and Cregan reads it up. We know what it contains, and Jace clearly understands it's probably not good news.
Yeah. So Rhaenys arrives back at Dragonstone and is tired. My girl has been solo patrolling the Gullet, the only dragon, hundreds of miles, and Melees needs to gorge and rest, and so the fuck does the queen. But Daemon, right, mount your dragon. Where's my sister?
We're going to King's Landing.
Take your mount.
I know, and I love we're going to kill Aemond and Vhagar right now, but I need your dragon too. Let's go. No, let's go. And she's like, first of all, I'm hungry. My dragon's hungry. We're both tired as hell. We're chilling.
Is
you
this
can go
the
fuck
queen?
off.
Is this the queen's command? And he says, the queen is off doing stuff, so I have to fight her war. And she's like, or, wait for her to get back. You could just chill. And then she has to explain to him that she's a mother grieving, and she's grieving with no concrete proof. She just received a letter saying your son is dead. When I received the same for Laena, I wouldn't believe it until I saw her earthly remains. And that's what Rhaenyra needs, is some closure on this. Daemon, of course, has, as they say in the HP universe, the emotional range of a teaspoon. And so he's not comprehending this and wants to continue blaming Rhaenys for not taking Aegon out when she had the chance. And then orders that she rides with him, and she delivers the great, would that you were king.
Right.
And walks away.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And so it cuts then, I believe, straight into Corlys walking through the docks there.
His town?
Yeah, as
his
he's
place.
Through.
Yeah, everyone's, bowing, my lord, my lord. But he's here to see a very particular young man.
Yeah, a little Adam.
Adam.
Excuse
This
me.
one's Adam.
Yep. And he sees his ship. This is his boat that's being worked on, and it is torched at the end of
all
it.
bloody. I love the scrubbing of the blood off the deck and all the work going on. It's just very cool to see.
And yeah, he starts up a conversation with his bastard son. For those who don't know, surprise,
right.
spoiler alert, it's his bastard son and brother of the future rider of Sea Smoke.
Hey!
And just says, I heard you were the one that pulled me out of the water and saved me.
Right. It's this, I think, is a tough scene for them to do, and I don't know if they nailed it for non-book readers, because it's an awkward fucking scene.
It's confusing.
It's just Corlys is being weird.
Yep.
And Adam is being weird, and you don't know why if you don't know why.
Yeah, you'll only get hints of it too in a couple episodes when Rhaenys comes down and meets with him.
Well, like even because Adam, and that kind of tripped me up for a minute. I'm not sure why the smithy delivered the blade to Adam and to the docks there when it could have just gone up to Corlys, but
right.
Adam for some reason has the blade that was commissioned for little Lucerys.
Did I miss? I thought I heard he found it, and so
maybe found, but I thought he said the smithy delivered it.
Makes more sense,
and so
less sense. But
Corlys has a non-flashback moment of reminiscing about, fuck, I was going to give this to little Luke, and I definitely think Corlys had affection for him. And then we get the subtle. This is one of the few points you could maybe where Adam's like, yeah, sorry about your heir, bro.
Right.
And it's that
when this is clearly like. Because that Luke used to complain and be concerned that when he became the heir to Driftmark, that when he takes over the throne, everybody he loves is dead.
Yep.
He also didn't think, and he was concerned with his mom that
he have the seafaring
I'm
skills.
Not capable.
Yeah.
This man does.
This man
is the epitome of the Lord of the Tides. Like, this is what you would
100%.
Want as an heir, but
100%.
because he's a bastard, it's not allowed.
Yeah, and he's apologizing for the death of his heir, which also a bastard, by the way.
But I don't think that it's a. I feel like he understands his station in life, and he's fine and accepted it.
Uncomfortableness of the situation that makes it weird. That this man, this bastard, your son, is having to apologize for the loss of the only son you feel like acknowledging type of, or the grandson that you feel like acknowledging type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's ugly, and if you don't know that he's a bastard,
awkward and weird.
It's super awkward. The whole scene is very awkward, and I think intentionally, but. So yes, then we're back in King's Landing where.
So we get Helena is in her little room just doing a little bit of the cross stitching. I don't know what they do, some kind of sewing, and Aegon comes in, the king.
He's having a great day.
He's having the best day. He's living a great life right now, and he walks up and completely blows off his daughter.
Well, doesn't recognize
that it's not his daughter.
Foreshadowing, haha. But. Yeah, he goes up to her thinking that it's Jacaerys.
Where's Jacaerys?
And right.
Jacaerys is
right, Jacaerys.
Valerian.
Fucking these Targaryens, man. And taps her shoulder even to the point where she turns and looks at him, and then
he's
like,
that's not you.
Yeah, you're the female one.
Where's the he's in his lesson. I love Helena so much.
You can't disturb his lessons.
He's learning. You can't interrupt that. And if you want further proof, when Aemon starts talking to you and Valerian in a few episodes, remember that you should have paid the fuck attention.
Schooling that you could have used, yeah.
So yeah, he mentions that he wants to bring him to the small council meeting because he's heir to the throne one day.
Ruling, yeah.
He needs to start his training.
And she tells him that he's in the library, but you really shouldn't disturb his studies, but he blows her off. He doesn't care. And as he's making his way out, she admits she's afraid. And he's like, well, don't be. We have Vhagar patrolling the city. They'd be foolish to attack.
Not the dragons.
Not the dragons.
It's the rats.
Which, by the way, we've been getting shots of the rat capture moving about.
Yeah, he's in all sorts of little background scenes. It's so awesome. I love it.
And the rats and the rat catcher are both on heavy display throughout this episode. Right. And
because we get then we get the cut to Alicent and Christy Cole having
I think
a
so.
little
I don't know.
time.
Our outline is like really fucked up.
My notes are all
Google
jacked
Docs like fucked us on this one, and so
if we're out of order,
forgive us. But yeah.
But I believe that we get
my queen getting hers. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All naysayers, fuck off. This is the first time Alicent has had agency with her body and is willingly having sex with someone she wants to have sex with.
Sure.
And so, yes, it's breaking custom. It's breaking tradition. Fuck all
Who
that
hasn't
noise.
at this point?
My girl's getting hers. Good for you. And then I love immediately into the hypocritical. They're both dressing, and clearly there is some
Weird
tension between Kristen Cole is disassociating. Alicent's trying to make after sex small talk, and then tells him we can't do this again. That'll be broken by the end of the episode,
right.
But they're both aware and cognizant of it, that this is somehow forbidden, and not somehow, we know why, Kingsguard, but it's forbidden, and yet immediately they just, it's that we're going to keep telling ourselves. It's, you know, if you've ever tried to quit
this
smoking.
Is the last time. This is
my last pack.
This is the last one.
My last cigarette. Right. My last
I mean, it's
everything.
any addict.
Right.
This is the last, everything. And then we cut into the small council meeting, which actually opens with Cheese setting a trap and then leaving the small council chamber. And so that's one of the first times that we see him in these scenes.
Fucking my boy Bloodhound Otto Hightower is like, I smell sex. Is that on you, Alicent? And Kristen Cole? Ooh. Because he's given them both hard looks, and I am fully in belief that Otto knows what's going on with them. So,
yeah, Otto, throughout this whole small council meeting, keeps treating Alicent like shit, which I love because it leads to a conversation that I'm a huge fan of it afterwards.
Yeah. I love Otto.
And
he's so good.
The king is in there and just does his little kingly thing because he joins in with Jaehaerys. Jaehaerys shows up and he sets him down, heads up to the table, and is like, let's do this.
Yeah, the council is all, I mean, we're almost at war, so they're all working, going through what needs to be done. Alicent asks after the letters she sent Rhaenyra, and I can't remember his fucking name, but basically the one dipshit there that's not the Grand Maester is like, an apology for her dead son, and Alicent gives him the look. She's threatened to send him to the wall before. I really wish she would. And yeah, so I like that little bit that Alicent's been writing Rhaenyra and probably, trying to explain and apologize, but they've gone unanswered, which the Grand Maester takes to mean we're going to soon be at war. Like, if she's not open to peace terms, then we're heading to war, folks.
Yep.
And so they're tallying up their forces in King's Landing, the Baratheons in the Stormlands, the Lannisters at Casterly Rock.
Jasper Wilde, by the way.
Jasper Wilde, that's the motherfuck. And all this time, Aegon has eyes only for his son and his antics.
I love his son down there. It's just
tormenting Tyler
in the funnest way. He just wants to play with the big spinny ball, which is great because Aegon's doing the same thing.
100%.
At the end of the small council, he pulls his out, starts spinning.
Yes,
it's just
child.
that he's like a child. Yep. And Tyland is, yes, thank you. That's very helpful,
You're so helpful, my prince.
Very good.
And then he's because then he's like, can someone please help me over here with this kid? And Aegon's like, is the heir to the throne bothering you, Tyland? And he's like, no.
Pony ride!
Yeah, so
time to go for a ride, Jaehaerys.
I think so far Aegon's most Joffrey-esque moment, but I fucking enjoy Aegon this whole episode. And so, yeah, it's time for a pony ride. And then Alicent is like, your fucking grace, can we please plan a war? And so he's like, all right, Jaehaerys, off you go. And so Jaehaerys is let out, and they begin to discuss, but are pretty quickly interrupted by Aemond.
What cracks me up is they were in the middle of a conversation. He slams the doors open. All talk stops. He walks straight in. We get a, what are you doing here, Aemond? I was invited. This is how we should do the war. And just jumps into the conversation like he knew exactly. It didn't matter what they were. They could have been in there like, so the cost of the grain of rice is increasing.
Right.
And he just walks in, we need to go to the Highlands. The Riverlands need to be...
Harrenhal is key, and that's very important and vital for this season. Harrenhal is the key to the Riverlands. It is a focal point, and we'll be hearing that quite a lot here. But Aemond is immediately on that shit, is immediately pinpointing where they need to be and where they should be focusing forces. And yeah, the whole time Otto is just shitting on Alicent, preaching, of course, restraint.
Right.
Like, we have dragons, but loosing them sets a precedence in this war. then Rhaenyra's side loses dragons and everything burns. And so for right now, we need to plot. We need to write ravens. We need to sure alliances up. And Aegon doesn't like this, and as you said, starts taking he literally like in his fucking chair.
And yeah, like you said, just to nail it in a little more, not just was Otto shutting Alicent down, he was doing it in a cold, like, you're just a woman way. Yeah. Just shut up.
And what you're responsible for this.
Exactly. If we had taken the necessary actions within the immediate hours following Viserys' death, instead of bitching around like you, then we would be in a much better position than we currently are. But you didn't want to do that, and so...
So on, as council's dismissed, Alicent's heading back to her room and sees one Larys hanging outside, and he's like, "Oh, hello, Your Grace. I tried to catch you before the meeting, but your handmaiden said you were indisposed." And it's immediately that, like, fuck, what do you know? But she's like, "What did you want to see me for?" And he informs her that any of the castle workers that were informing as far as, like, Myssaria's little web, or Otto's, are now dead. And that he himself has now chosen personally her staff, which, like, brilliant move. Alicent.
And we're going to see all of that staff at the beginning of next episode, as they're all going to get herded and wrangled around.
Whoopsie. And so, yep, Alicent is like, okay, and then takes a bath and is clearly having some issues with the way things are progressing because she gets annoyed with her handmaidens and then begins scrubbing herself quite aggressively. Yeah. And is just... I mean, poor Alicent.
Yeah, she just wants to not be surrounded by a bunch of fucking either doters or scumbags. But we cut to the king seeing his people. He's finally going to interact with the small folk, and he takes... It's the announcement, the magnanimous...
Yeah, he comes in with his little posse.
And even he's like, what is that even... Like, what is that... And the guy's like, I don't know. It sounded cool, though. Like... And... I am going to turn my phone into a burning heap because it keeps going off in the middle of our episode. So my apologies, listeners.
And yeah, Otto is here guiding him, of course, because the first petitioner is concerned about the tithe of sheep that's required by the crown. It's fucking him this close to winter, feeding their dragons. And Aegon's like, oh, then we'll return them. We'll give them back. And
My bad.
I love the way this is blocked out because it's Otto doing the slow climb.
And, like, Aegon's leaning around him.
It's the manager approaching, being like, no, we can't do that.
That's not right. No.
And saying that, no, we need this shit. And Aegon is not getting it. He's like, well, if we just return his, like, it's no big deal. And he's like, if we do that, then everyone's going to come back to ask for theirs.
Nobody would know.
They won't know. And, like, bruh.
When the king speaks, yeah, exactly.
You're ignorant, and it's not Aegon's fault. He wasn't groomed for this position.
Which is why we know he behaved the way he did as a... I mean, not that it excused his behavior.
No, but he had royal privilege, and he fucking used it. Because he wasn't
going to take the throne. That was Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Right, 100%, and now it's shooting them all in the fucking
foot. On second thought, I can't do it.
Sorry.
Bye.
And then someone pisses him off by bringing up the gullet, which he plans to have Vhagar burn next. Get out of my face.
And then we get this little blacksmith.
Who's this guy?
This
blacksmith. Fucking cunt.
Yeah,
Hugh the Hammer.
That's a little rude.
Hugh the Hammer becomes a fucking treasonous bitch.
You have to call him a cunt.
He's a cunt.
Rude. He's just looking out for his family.
And here,
small folk.
To start,
small folk.
He'll become a fuck. And he represents the Smiths, and they were promised payment, but to be paid a little, like, they're asking for an early advance.
Can you pay us up front instead of after we're done?
That will help us get the supplies and the shit we need.
All their money for food is going to the supplies for the king in their war.
And Aegon agrees to this, and as Otto begins his ascent back up to warn him off, he says, we can't win this war without the aid of the small folk. LOL, it's gonna be small folk killing your kid later.
If only he had thought of that sooner. And more people agreed in his
deters
family.
Otto and shuts him down, and he walks back down the stairs, and he continues the position. I lost that word. The court, sure.
Court.
And then we get Alicent in her private chambers, and Otto arrives.
Joins her.
And she's annoyed because she asked for an audience hours ago, but he's been tied up at
court took way longer than I thought.
And, I mean, because Aegon's an idiot, he probably had to correct him after almost every decree, and so it went on longer.
Yeah, so they start,
She's pissed.
It's a poisonous conversation at first.
Yeah.
Just venom thrown both ways.
Playing the game.
Before because he's like, I agree, we want the same thing. And she's like, right. But you calling me out in front of them every time is going to make them never listen to a word I say. You're undermining my authority, and we have to be on the same page if we're going to do this. And he's like, oh, and I didn't think of that.
Because she tells him that both of the boys look at you as the standard. You were a hand to 3 kings. You know what the fuck you're doing. Aegon is mad at me because of the way I raised him and treated him in the days leading up to him being king, and Aemond has always been angry. And so I've always been at a disadvantage. If you undercut my voice, they will grow deaf to it. And he actually has that right. I didn't see it that way moment. And she says, let's get through this. And then when Aegon loses his fucking interest in it, you and I can then steer our course. And that we can puppet him. Like, once he gets over the, war, then we can step in and actually control him. But we need to work together to guide through this tumultuous issue. Right. And he's like, all right, I'm down for that. And then he says, but you need to accept that it's time for violence. And she says, I know it, but it doesn't need to be wanton.
Yeah.
And I like that stance that Alicent is continuing to take. Also want to jump real quick to Daemon continuing the blame game, because then it's Sir Eric, whichever one joined Rhaenyra, who's getting the blame for not killing Aegon.
Right.
Which, again, fuck your entire self.
Yeah, Eric gives a great response where he says, we were sworn our oath is to protect the royal family. What are we supposed to do when they begin fighting amongst themselves?
And actually, I jumped ahead here because...
Yeah, we also get the boat being found that's
because Daemon walks away at the arrival of Rhaenyra coming back, and Rhaenyra had found... she'd been searching the coast, and eventually some fishermen netted up the wing and the little coat.
We also got the discovery of Mysaria on the...
as a stowaway, on the vessels returning to Dragonstone.
We scoot past that quick. Mysaria was found on a vessel that was trying to go to Pentos.
Tried to threaten and intimidate her, and she's like, I have no value to you, Daemon. I don't know anything. I have no loyalty to Otto. He burned my shit down, so I really don't have any loyalty to him. But I also don't have loyalty to you either.
We made a deal, me and him. And so, then we get a cut to Rhaenyra out at Storm's End. And she's looking for the remains of her little baby boy, Luke.
Yeah, she finds him.
And finds the wing.
Emma kills it in this episode. Because, again, she has one line, which is, I want Aemon Targaryen, delivered later. And the rest is just facial acting and physical acting, and she nails it. Like, this is very clearly a mother grieving. Her sobbing over the coat is tragic, and then her dragon
shrieking out
mournful wail.
Response. And she shows up. She mentions she wants Aemon Targaryen, and that's all she said. She wants Aemon Targaryen.
Whoopsie.
Aemon. But Daemon
kill 'em all.
Takes it upon himself to go a son for a son, not just Aemon Targaryen. And so he gets back with Mysaria and says, I'll make you a deal.
You got spies still.
I'll give you your freedom if you get me in there. I need to talk to somebody who can traverse the Red Keep quickly and quietly. So then he sneaks in to King's Landing.
Pays off a
Kingsguard.
Fisherman, someone.
Oh, the fisherman,
to row
to take him in. Yep.
And then using his clout as former commander of the Gold Cloaks, recognizing one who specifically was pointed out to him as having disdain for the High Towers.
Fuck the High Towers.
Daemon finds his way in and his first accomplice to murder, and then seeks out the second, the Ratcatcher, with the vast knowledge of the caverns and tunnels and secret passageways.
Which we've been hinted at because we've seen him wandering through the halls the whole episode. So now we have Blood and Cheese. And Cheese is little puppy boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah, the first conversation is a lot of fun with Daemon approaching him and saying, it's said that you know what you're doing, and then offers him the sack of gold, and he reaches for it, and then Daemon pulls it back, and he kind of does this like a fucking course, what do you want type of look. And then, yeah, tonight, you and my friend here are going to be best buddies, and you're going to go into the Red Keep, and you're going to kill Aemon Targaryen. Should be easy. He's got silver hair and sapphire eye. And Cheese asks, what if we can't find him? And we don't get the line, a son for a son, from Daemon, but he is wearing his sketchy Kermit cloak, and so he's up to shenanigans, and he gives a little wry little, like, look.
A look, yeah.
And that's all we get. So now these two begin their infiltration, which I just love. It's a really fun sequence of them trudging
this
through
whole
the waters.
scene, seeing all the... Because it really makes me think about... Varys and Arya and all those early scenes with Illyrio where they're going through these different tunnels that we'll never see again, and just seeing the sewer system, the intricacies of the way that the Red Keep was built, and they get to a certain floor finally, and
Cheese has reservations.
She's like, this is where I stop. I got you inside.
We're not allowed to go up there.
I'm not supposed to be up there.
Blood is like, bro, we're here to kill people.
That's what got me in that funny way. Like, he's still a small folk. He's still got that. No, that's for the royals. We're not allowed up there. I don't do the rat stuff up there, so we're not. And he's like, dude, we're going to kill one of the royals. We have to be up there.
Or I can kill you.
Or I can kill you and take the money.
Man, imagine if he did. It probably would have been much more bloodshed, I would imagine.
Right, and so then comes the scene that makes me have no qualms whatsoever about the rat catcher getting hung next episode, because he turns and kicks the puppy out of anger that he got caught up in this.
Yeah. Tells him to fuck off.
Which is keeping him alive and safe, I suppose, or something.
Yeah, to linger around his corpse, and he doesn't deserve
shit
it.
Ever.
But anyway, yeah, they continue up now into the royals, and I like it because so far, none of it has felt, I would say, expressly secret passagey. It's felt travel ways and causeways for workers. But this one, there's a whole winch thing, and you can hear the kind of breaking of the seal of the wind.
And we get the room that we didn't discuss the scene where Kristen Cole and Aemond were talking about
they're making battle plans.
Harrenhal and River Run and how they're going to be moving.
Aemond is saying that Christy Cole should lead the band, and he should be there on Vhagar to back him up, and no one would fucking stand
because they need the ground armies as well as the dragons, and they're just planning before they got interrupted by Otto.
And
Otto was trying to just discuss unity. We have to be working together. We have to do it a certain way.
Someone should have given Otto a megaphone so everyone could hear him say, you need to check your fucking impulses, bro.
Yeah.
To everyone. Like, everyone could have heard that because he's concerned. He straight up says, I'm concerned that battle plans are being made without knowledge of the king or his hand.
Yeah,
that shit don't fly.
This can't be happening right
now. And Aemon says, I wish to serve my king and my house. And he's all Mr. Cool in the chair.
Badass.
Yeah. And
I do like, because Otto did mention, you are the single most powerful force in the Seven Kingdoms.
And everyone knows it now.
And
then Otto does I need you to check your impulses because we both know that your brother cannot. The king cannot. And so it's sort of that, like, nudge, nudge, like, you and me will work together type of thing.
Which is cool because it does lead to the future when he gets called back as Hand.
Right, because he's going to be dismissed by Aegon here soon, and Aemond will call him
back. So Blood and Cheese enter this room now that it's been vacated by those guys.
This battle planning room of Christy and Aemond.
They take their little tokens that they were using as map markers, and Blood just dumps those into his bag. And he makes the Cheese start setting up a trap for appearances. Yeah. So he does
actually a smart move.
Right.
And then he begins scouting out some more. He runs into a handmaiden.
And does the same.
Who is immediately suspicious.
What the fuck are you doing up here? No, rat catchers aren't supposed to be on the royal.
He is suspicious of her being suspicious, so he goes over and starts setting a trap. Yet as soon as he notices she's out of sight, the tension goes to a fucking 100.
Which was such a cool cut. The way it was like him and she like disappeared.
She's gone.
It was this.
She fucking ran to tell someone, I think.
I think so. That she was like, something's off
here.
Right.
And she's grilling him. And
grabs that dagger.
The torch goes rolling and the light, like the way the light rolled across the room, it was just very dread-filling.
Yeah.
And then, he grabs the blade and starts heading out.
Heads towards
looking
some
for
noises
someone
that
to
he
kill.
hears.
Well, he's scouting out.
Going outside in the rain.
And then, he goes and checks the inner courtyard, and then he hears Cheese accosting Helena, telling her to be quiet. And as he's giggling to himself, Blood has who the fuck is she? This isn't a son. And Cheese tells him,
it's the queen.
This is the queen. And my girl Helena is struggling. He says, all right, which one's the boy? And she tries to barter. I have a very expensive necklace, which he takes. Because...
Yeah, so there was this weird, because she's told Blood to just check for a cock.
Yep.
Which confused me because he said something, but I was like, what? Right, why doesn't he?
He said the mama knows.
Yeah, but
right, I
who
agree.
Cares?
Right.
Like, check
in
real
this
quick.
Universe,
And
I
so
know
I
it's
was like,
crude and crass. It literally would have taken 15 seconds to do a crotch grab and see which one was the
Less.
kid.
Like, it could
Right.
just that, like,
Right.
run over.
100%.
The only thing I could think is to keep the other one from waking up if it was the wrong. But I don't know. That confused me. Why he did that.
That I think is just a misfit. It's a tense situation.
Yeah, sure.
It's this, and so she is forced to choose. And
I don't even think it's. I mean, it's
to point out.
It's just pointing out.
Yeah.
But it's that weird choice.
We'll discuss the
There's
choice.
this weird choice because it's that, like,
point of contention.
Because they say, oh, well, she could have told us wrong to preserve the heir, and it's that, like, she could have. She did make the choice to tell the truth, so there is a choice there, but technically it was just pointing out which one is the boy and which one.
Right.
They did mention they have to get ahead,
yep.
and so we know that's what's happening. Once she points out which one is Jaehaerys, they go straight at him, and she goes up and scoops up the daughter, makes her, as she's leaving, you can hear the sawing.
You can hear the kid screaming for help
at first
from his mother,
and then
it cuts off.
Cut and just literal sawing on bone.
I love the little no from Helena before she runs and grabs her daughter. And the panic on her face, on Fia Saban's face, is stellar. And
this whole scene,
this
the running scene,
is like it's like early Halloween movies.
Fuck yes,
horrifying.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
And she makes.
We even get the familiar staircase that Rhaenyra made her long walk up, and it's such a different feel here. It is a horror movie. And she gets to the bottom and has this shuddering breath
and this like
realization.
I don't know where to go.
Right.
And so then kind of gathers as much as she can and runs to Mom, who's broken her little statement to Cole, and she is riding.
Yeah, she is.
And like Helena doesn't even comment or anything. She just starts pacing.
It's clearly not even registering that like. And Allison, what's happened? And she sits, cradling her daughter, and just says, they killed the boy.
They killed the boy.
And Allison, then we get a shot of Allison's reaction, but the Helena is the one that stays with you. She is clearly disassociating hard, and that's where blood and cheese. Yes. A son for a son ends, is with that revelation. And now, I mean, the discussion point, people had issue with this because it's not like the book. Because she wasn't forced to pick between one, and then Blood doesn't get to whisper, it's your mommy that picked you. One, let's remember that this is filmed with real life people, real life children. There are fucking laws against certain things that can and cannot be done on screen, on set, with children. And so
barring that,
how about we take that? Two,
unreliable narrator.
Who
was there that survives this, that can tell the story of what happened? So it doesn't matter what actually happened in there. That didn't stop the writer, Meister fucking what's his face, of Fire and Blood,
and Barth
telling story. The stories grow more and more outlandish.
With each
telling, yes,
yeah.
Why would look at how quickly the rumors spread with Prince for a day with Daemon. All it takes is them to tell this story. So next episode, all the small folk get hustled down to the afterwards, and it hits the streets. It's going to be that. I heard that it was a rat catcher and a murderer, and he raped the baby and then did this and that. And Oberyn had to verify because there was rumors that the babies were smashed and you killed my sister, you
against the wall.
And so it's all hearsay, and we don't know for sure. We now get to see for sure one telling of that,
yep.
But saying, oh, well, the Fire and Blood had said this, right. This guy in history who was like 100 years removed, reading a history of it himself, putting it all into a single compilation, said that Blood went up and said, oh, it's your mommy that caused this.
Yeah.
when yes, she made a decision. She made a choice there. She didn't sentence him to death. Daemon did. Like, she didn't cause the... So why would that be said unless they were trying to
it's less hate
glorify
on
the story?
Helena, it's more hate on the writing of the show, and I completely disagree. One, I love what they've done with Helena, really leaning into the dreamer. And we were discussing it with this second watch through. I fully believe she was tapped into some of her dreaming here. She has such a disassociation through this whole scene from a certain specific point where it almost looks like she's having a fucking vision while Blood and Cheese are accosting her to me. And the whole run through the keep, her little shuddering breath is almost her coming back to reality out of the vision.
Yeah, and I had mentioned to you that to me it's that's when she mentioned to Aegon at the beginning of the episode that she was scared of the rats, it's because she had a vision of rats doing something. Even if it's as Bran's dreams when Winterfell got flooded by the ocean. It's not clear.
Hard to understand.
Rats are scaring her because a rat is killing something
and so
or doing
she's
something.
Putting it together in
and
that
so
moment.
I think in that moment she's seeing that vision again.
It's the rat catchers.
And it's that I've seen this guy as a rat catcher around the keep.
It's both
and
of
like
them. They both are doing. They
right,
have
they
the
both
whole
have the
set,
stuff.
so it's the rat catchers. They were
and she's
beast beneath the boards.
Exactly.
She's putting it together, and it's that this chick lives in her dreams, and so she's probably seen this or seen a version of this choice that was hard to understand, and so I love it. I love her immediately picking the heir. I love her reaction to it, the little no denial before she goes and picks up her daughter, the obvious fear of what's happening to her son. Like, I don't see it as her not caring about the boy.
It's a severe trauma, and she's trying to make sure that they just, while she was standing there, they went right in on him.
They started
grabbed him and
sawing
dead.
her
Guy was
son's
dead.
head off.
The kid, like, you heard him scream, then you hear some plunging of knives, and then the scream. He's dead. She's wanting to make sure, what if they come after us next?
Right, what if they
I
just
need to get my
decide
daughter.
to fucking...
She's running down those stairs looking for a Kingsguard, looking for somebody. How is it that these guys got into our chambers?
Oh, because Kristen Cole wasn't outside guarding you like he was supposed to be. He was fucking mommy. But yeah, I loved it. I loved... I know some people were disappointed it wasn't as brutal as they were. Like,
gory and like...
Right. I thought it was tastefully done for murdering a child on camera. It was horrific. It lingers. Yeah, the sawing is hard to listen to. The little kid screaming for help through the glove over his mouth is hard to listen to. Helena looking and watching them immediately go into sawing her son's head off is hard to watch. I thought they nailed it. The tension builds so well in this whole little infiltration of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the execution I thought was fucking stellar, and it's horrifying, and it was everything I wanted from Blood and Cheese without, I think, being too egregious about it and just doing it for shock value.
Right.
Because I've seen comparisons to the Red Wedding, apples and oranges, friends, when you have 3 books, 3 seasons to foreshadow an event that's forthcoming. Yeah, it has a big fucking impact.
Right.
Blood and Cheese is occurring because of something that happened last season. Blood and Cheese is setting up a whole new season.
Right.
And so love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. So
what a phenomenal start to season 2, and it's only going to get messier from here.
Yeah, so at this point of recording, season 2 is not finished.
Nope.
And so we are current with what has been released.
Yes.
But I think we still have 2 episodes left, I think.
Yeah, I've been fucked up on the count all season.
And I've enjoyed everything so far up to. There's been a couple little things maybe that we'll discuss when we get those episodes. But
again, my qualms are the small things like them adding Jacaerys at the wall.
Right.
I like the original telling of it being Alicent. I'm not waving my fist in the air saying that's not how it was in the book, because I understand that the book is written from an unreliable narrator in character, in world. So, apples and oranges here, but I love it. I have loved House of the Dragon and every single thing they've done. getting to see that shot of the King's Road up to the wall. Like, we're just
very cool.
getting to see things that I never thought we would.
From different views and angles and different places.
The
you know,
acting,
Storm's End
I
looks
think,
great.
gets better and better per episode. Everyone is giving it their all, and it shows, I think, on screen. And the chemistry between these characters is fucking
You know what
electric.
I do hate, though?
Kristen Cole.
Yeah. Still hate that
I
son
heard
of a
a
bitch.
fucking fantastic thing, just kind of like with them filming that, what's her name? Cook. What's her first name?
Amelia?
No,
because that was
Amelia Clark.
the other Amelia.
Oh boy,
There's
Allison.
Olivia Cook
Put on because she had basically a wig of pubic hair.
Oh.
She put on a large, giant, ginger pubic wig, and it scared the shit out of
when he
Kristen
for
Cole.
the
Yeah,
acting?
he thought it was a fucking animal, and
That's
he actually like
hilarious.
threw himself out from under her dress. And
Fuck yeah.
yeah. So like
That's
they're
funny.
having fun on
Olivia
set,
Cook is great.
and I love it. And so, House of the Dragon season 2, we're in it, and I, again, as I said at the top, Thrones is back. And if you disagree that there's things wrong with this show, that, I mean, your opinion, you're entitled to it. I don't see how. I think they're nailing it in every way. This is clearly a labor of love and a fucking love letter to the fandom. So,
yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any information
Thoughts?
that you think that we should have discussed that we missed, you know, because again we kind of footnoted this one and went pretty quick through
I'm
it.
blaming Google Docs.
There's lots of stuff happening here, and so we're not going to always discuss every single one. So if there's a point or a topic you want us to touch upon, let us know. Send us an email, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com, and if we can, we'll definitely talk about it with you.
It's a lot of fun.
It's lots of fun.
We've been getting some Night of the Seven Kingdoms stuff dropped while this season's coming, and so the hype train for Thrones media and content is real. Once again, folks, we're in it. We're in the thick of it. So that's pretty cool.
What's the next episode called? Do you recall?
Next episode.
Episode 2 is I got it here somewhere. Let me check my notes.
Rhaenyra the Cruel.
Rhaenyra the Cruel, right? Rhaenyra the Cool.
Rhaenyra
Fuck
the
yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, I think it's time to Valid Harris this bitch.
All right. Peace.